I would now like to call upon stage our next speaker, Professor Dr. Sunil Kumar Khatri from Amity University, for delivering his special address. With nearly 25 years of experience as an academic leader, Dr. Khatri is currently working as Dean, Research, Innovation and Extension Activities at Amity University, Noida, and Deputy Director General at Amity Foundation for Science, Technology and Innovation Alliances. He was conferred with the Honorary Visiting Professorship by University of Technology, Sydney. He has been awarded for an Award of Excellence in Education Leadership in 2017, IT Innovation and Excellence Award for contribution in the field of IT and computer science education, and Exceptional Leadership and Dedication in Research. May I call upon stage Dr. Khatri.
Thank you, Cyber Media, for organizing this wonderful conference and award ceremony today on an apt theme when we are using so much technologies in every sector, cutting across them, and education cannot be untouched out of it. And when we talk about higher education, definitely it is more requirements, more demands for moving into an era where technology is integrated into deep roots of how higher education is planned, delivered across the country. When we talk about digital transformation in higher education, how we can digitize the campus, how we can digitize the pedagogies, how we can digitize the infrastructure, integrating technologies into it. And definitely, these are the key components that had to be pondered about, that had to be taken care, that had to be planned, which includes flexibility, innovation. And more in the inaugural session, Mr. Vijay Reddy was also talking about that how flexibility and innovation can be and shall be integrated into the higher education planning and delivery. Collaboration is another key factor. In fact, if you see the theme of the conference, the 4 key words that this conference says, collaboration being the third, is one of them. Sustainability is an aspect which today we are talking not so much, but definitely as we are moving on to a digitized higher education campus in the next few years, this is going to be a prominent area to be reviewed also, to be analyzed, that how the digital campuses, digital higher education delivery assessment can be more sustainable, because there are many factors which will also get introduced when you are introducing the digitization in higher education. And the last factor is student centricity. As we were hearing Pawarji, the speaker in the last speaker in the inaugural session, in fact, he also talks about that how we have to move also from teaching centric to a student centric system. And definitely the learning has to be onus rather than delivery or the teaching being an onus for it. When we talk about the core components of a digital campus of a future, then definitely it includes infrastructure, it includes technology, includes pedagogy, and it includes the various aspects related to it. When we say infrastructure, it is not only the technologies which are there, but also the policies, also to ensure that how this infrastructure can be sustainable, how it can be more effective, how it can be optimally utilizing the resources when we talk about digitization, and how it can be more sustainable in future. When we talk about pedagogies, even pedagogies had to be changed. Today, we are witnessing a change, and a positive change. Over the last 4 years, this COVID has forced us to move from offline to online, there has been a lot of debate we were talking about. In fact, the speakers before differ and agree on some of the points that are going to be there when we are moving towards an online system. In my personal view, definitely, the offline teaching cannot be replaced and shall not be replaced. But this online pedagogy, online systems are going to supplement a great. We are talking about today flipped system. We are talking about today online digitization of the contents, e-contents to be developed, how LMS can work into it, and how technologies such as artificial intelligence, generative AI can come into picture. Today, there are a lot of LLMs working. We are talking about Chat GPT, which is of humongous size of servers when we talk about the calculations that are done behind LLMs existing, Chat GPT and Gemini, few of them being open or closed access systems. But when we look into other aspects also, digital content creation and how to effectively implement them. Because if you see into higher education, there are a lot of institutions now who have been focusing on, who have been wondering on that how to design the digital contents, but effective utilization is still missing in the planning for them. Definitely AI and VR, AR are going to play a very important role. A lot of artificial intelligence tools are already existing in the market. If you see higher education institutions abroad, to take some examples such as Harvard, MIT, they have been focusing and using artificial intelligence for the last 25, 30 years already. Definitely terminologies have been changing. We are talking today about data analytics, but this type of system have been in statistics already working with different terms over the last 40, 50 years. Yes, today terminologies are different and definitely new technologies are there to implement those systems, but mathematics has been working for that. How virtual realities, how simulation can be integrated more into our labs. Today we are talking about experiential learning, we are talking about self-learnings, we are talking about a system where we can integrate online and offline systems together to provide an environment for the students where they can partially come into the class and some of the things they can do at home, prepare themselves accordingly. Someone was talking as earlier that since most of the contents are available already on the net today, example was given of Chat GPT, then why there is a need to come into the class? But there is. These systems now, in fact earlier there were Googles, which is providing a lot of data. Nowadays we are talking about system of LLM, large language models such as Chat GPT, Gemini, few of them to mention. They can give you the solution, but they can't give you the analytical thinking that is required behind them, which can only be when you are in the campus. So integration of that flipped mode system, combining the online and offline technologies and the pedagogies had to be the part of the future which has to be integrated in our planning of our academics in times to come. When we talk about laboratories, we have to move from what is the existing system now. A lot of facilities are there which are now available in simulation models. A lot of facilities are there which are available in industry which can be utilized over the net. Amity had established a campus in Tashkent and I was there heading that campus before coming back to India. For 4 years I was there. And this was a time of pandemic when I was heading that campus. But the challenge of this COVID time had given us a wonderful opportunity, and in fact, a lot of industries have come forward with the laboratory solutions which can provide you the virtual way, and we had utilized some of them. At Amity also 4 years back, we had established the system where any student sitting in any of the campus of Amity in 22 countries or 12 campuses in India can utilize the laboratories of Noida sitting remotely through the virtual lab system, through the simulation, through the virtual realities and integration the artificial intelligence into the system. This is going to be the demand, this is going to be the requirement for making it sustainable education system in the future also. When we talk about the culture, the fourth aspect of making a digitized campus or digital campus, collaboration, as I mentioned, innovation are going to be the work, collaborative work. There are many ways we are talking about collaboration which can help, because student-student collaboration, faculty-to-faculty collaborations, faculty-to-student collaborations, students-to-industry collaborations, faculty-to-industry collaborations, then collaborations with government sectors and organizations. And all these have to be there. You cannot skip even a single component out of them if you really want to integrate the collaborative in a very systematic ecosystem for higher education. Diversity is going to be there, and definitely this is a very important factor also to be taken care of when we are moving towards the digitized campus. Precisely focusing on technological infrastructure that could be required when we talk about a digital campus of the future. Definitely you have to work on a sustainable, highly reliable, fast network with security embedded into it. Another aspect is cloud computing. Today, many of our universities in higher education are already using this facility one way or another. Many of us are using emails of our own domain. Some of them are in server, some are on cloud. And there are many other facilities which can be on the cloud facility, which can be a private cloud, public cloud, cloud server based in your campus itself. It can be a cloud which can be shared by you, by others along with you as a part of the company's policy. Definitely, privacy and security has to be there. When we talk about smart campus infrastructure, it doesn't talk only about the people, it doesn't only talk about the application, it doesn't only talk about the resources to integrate. It also talks about the policies which are needed to ensure the smart campus infrastructure implementation. It also talks about integrating various emerging technologies which are going to be there. And already a lot of industries have been working on, we have been deliberating with many of the companies who are coming up with various solutions when we talk about higher education and how they can help us in digital education to provide them. Lastly, we talk about cybersecurity measures. Even now also, many of you may be agreeing with me that the way we are implementing Wi-Fi's or dedicated networks in our campus, a lot of breaches are happening in our universities. Official mails are hacked, Wi-Fi's are sometimes hacked. So cyber security is a very prime area of concern when we are focusing more on a digitized campus, because the data of the students is very sensitive. You have to have a system where the students can exchange the data with others, peers, or with the faculty about their performance, about their plannings, and which should not be breached by external sources or the persons. So firewalls had to be there, advanced secure antivirus softwares had to be there, policies had to be there, and definitely you have to have a lot of security measures to talk about implementing it. When we talk about a digital campus, you have to have a strong technological foundation to it, and for it, you don't only have to have a digital infrastructure, but you have to talk about the emerging technologies. It was said in the morning, and I fully agree to it, by a speaker in the inaugural session by Pavarji from NIT Foundation, and he said that these technologies are leading our education system, which is going to change every 3 years, 4 years. What a student is doing as a part of a degree, by the time he finishes the degree, many of the courses are already changing. What he had learned is going to be unlearned. Skilling is going to be ongoing, always. One of a report from World Economic Forum says that 50% of the manpower globally needs skilling by 2025. That is a very alarming figure. 30% of manpower working hours in USA, by another report of McKinsey, says that 30% of the manpower is going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. Definitely, education sector is not going to be untouched by it. We have to make a strategy, policies are to be designed, how effectively artificial intelligence or other emerging technologies such as blockchain, which has been existing in some way in transactions, but how we can integrate such blockchain in our higher education for a secure transactions of the data between the students or between the faculties in terms of mails or in terms of assignment. How we can effectively and securely utilize the cloud infrastructure system. So that policies had to be very strongly reviewed, studied, and implemented at the institutions level. When we talk about the future campuses, digitized campus, they cannot be without innovation. They cannot be without entrepreneurship. Innovation hub is a very buzzword over the last 10 years. Government had established a lot of technology innovation hubs. For example, there is a National Science Center in Mumbai. There is a Regional Science Center in Guwahati. There is a Technology Innovation Hub in IISCs. These are the technology hubs which are established through the government with the support of them, but even the private players, state private universities, state government universities have to come forward to think and work on it. Even we have Abhay Jereji, who is Chief Innovation Officer at AICT, and he is leading this project of IICs at the AICT level. And this is a project which talks about how innovation and design centers can be established at the, not only at higher education, but also at school level to bring a culture of innovation through those hubs. Another aspect is how incubators, even the way incubator works is going to change in the next 5-6 years, drastically. We have seen that change over the last a decade. But in the next 5 years, you will see more technology, more digitization coming into innovation and entrepreneurship models. Today, we have a very great ecosystem in India, which helps the startups, which helps with policies, with funding, and various opportunities. But the way startups are working is also going to impact in a very big way with digitizations in the next 5 years. Research and development is another aspect which is going to also change. In fact, this is one of also a point touched by Pawarji. And we also had been deliberating in our university with other universities when we were discussing that how R&D system, in fact, last week we had a meeting where we have participants from ministry also, and we were wondering what is a policy at the government level also, what they are thinking of implementation or working on strategies, policies, and support system for research and development. In fact, this new NRF, which is now being implemented, it is talking about the participation of industries also in equal way as well as the government. And definitely industry in the previous 3-4 discussions under NRF is talking very highly on how digitization and technologies can be integrated in all 3 aspects, whether we talk about innovation hubs, incubators and entrepreneurships, and whether we talk about R&D, the way it is happening at the universities. I will skip this. And definitely the last aspect, where some of the universities are running this as an additional courses, but there are some which are running at a program level, because universities which have institutions of social sciences, arts, humanities have integrated programs in these areas, that how community engagement can be done and how it will change its picture when the digital campus is going to be implemented fully into it. And there is a concept of living labs which is now coming up greatly. United Nations is focusing very much on it, where they want students of the universities to go on the field, go interact with NGOs, work with government, go to the villages or to the rural areas which are not reached normally, study the problem there. It can be a problem of water, it can be a problem of food preservation, it can be a problem of safety, it can be the problem of clean energy and green energy. Come back to the university, study the problem and propose a solution for the next 2 to 3 months. Go back to the place, propose it, work on it and implement it and see, and that is assessed. This is what even United Nations is focusing on. In India also, some of the universities have started a focus on it, that how we can integrate the students' research, digitization and the problems of rural areas to solve through the university facilities. Definitely, we all understand, we all agree that why it is important, why we are talking about digital campus. Today, we are in the world where we have to connect very easily, very smoothly, and work with the international organizations. If you see QS, the way THE, Times Higher Education Ranks talks about, the way Shanghai ranking says, the way other university collaborations talks about, the way UN talks about in education system, they say that yes, digitization is going to be an integral part, and every country has to come out with a policy to integrate the digital campuses philosophy and implementation in pedagogies also and infrastructure also at the higher education. Definitely, there are some challenges when we talk about making into a digital system. This includes the budget constraints. Most of our universities in India are private universities and they have challenges, but we have to see how we can work out. Definitely, industry partners is one of our strategy to work on it, that how we can integrate industry into integrating the programs and digitization in the university. We had experimented this at Amity, working with RICS, working with TCS, working with the IET, working with CII, and in collaboration we had started programs integrating industry ideas and digitizations into some of the programs driven in that direction. Resistance change is always going to be there. Data privacy concern, as I talked about, cybersecurity measures are very important, and policy issues and skill gaps. As we move into a digitization philosophy and making our campuses digitized or making higher education in a digitalization way, definitely a lot of focus areas are to be there which need to be addressed upon and to give the solutions. And robust policies for protection of the data is going to be a very important factor. With this, I thank you all, and thank you, Data Quest and Savvy Media, for giving this wonderful opportunity to share our idea that what we are doing, what I personally think, and I thank Pradeep ji also for giving this opportunity to share my ideas with all of you. See, entrepreneurship is a very wonderful idea given by the vision.
Just listen me.
Please.
These are very two important issues
Yeah,
for which all the university, private and government, they are
yeah,
focusing on it. See, smart infrastructure, it is useless unless there are smart person sitting in the campus. Last week I visited one university in Sagarpur in Delhi for the entrepreneurship development. I was asked to wait for half an hour in a place where there was no fan. The benches were very dirty. It is the time of admission of the student. So after my long insistence, one assistant professor came and she said, "What can I do for you?" So I have long discussion. She insisted me to sit where there was 40-degree temperature. 40-degree temperature. मैंने कहा, मैडम ये मैंने long discussion करना है. Don't you have some suitable place? Then she took me to the library which was in the basement where it was quite comfortable. Now question is, we wanted to sign this LOC for the entrepreneurship for mentorship. The question is, you may have very good campus with very equipment, but the person manning there, they are very insensitive towards the parent, towards the student, and towards the visitors. So I think, what is your comment about that? And regarding entrepreneurship, it is only on the namesake. There is no entrepreneurship program. Nobody is heading in the entrepreneurship. They don't give any value to the entrepreneurship. What is your comment?
thank you, sir, for this wonderful question.
Amity may be exceptional.
Yeah, but I will take your question in two parts because it has two components of it. One, you are talking about a smart infrastructure, smart campus, that how effectively it should be done with the skill gap which is existing, and the mindset and the financial constraints all is there. But when we talk about smart infrastructure, it is not only about the skill set of the people. Yes, it is a factor and it has to be taken care of, but there are other factors also, because smart campus talks about smart infrastructure. It talks about smart facilities of integrating the computer, people, hardware, applications, and the utilization of those resources optimally. Because, as a smart city doesn't mean that city becomes smart. It means the functionality becomes smart. So similarly, at smart campus, when we talk about in higher education, that how optimally you are utilizing the resources, how minimizing you are doing the redundancy of the work. There are a lot of repetitive work which can be done through artificial intelligence, and transition is really very interesting. We had seen it at our university, that how it is done. And also it talks about the skill both at non-teaching and teaching level, that how to utilize them, but they had to be trained. And I think if an organization, any higher education institution, have that policy, have that mindset, agree on it, that yes, we have to, definitely they will have a plan for implementing it. As you say that you had seen some, but maybe I would not comment on it, but there are a lot of institutions which are moving on now in this positive direction. And if you will see in the next 5 years, any higher education institution cannot escape this concept of being a smart campus infrastructure. Coming into your second question, which talks about entrepreneurship, it has to be a systemized way. First thing, you have to have a dedicated center for entrepreneurship development to ensure that there is a platform for the students to work on. You have to have, as an higher education institution, an innovator incubation cell which have that experience. Funding or backing of government, DST, technology enabling center is also there, one of example for that. You can, as a university, can work on the entrepreneurship courses to aware the students about what are the various aspects of it. And definitely you say that sometimes they are not having that skill faculty to understand the importance and to train and guide the students. For them, definitely that center, that IIC's integration with industry, for lot of industries. I personally had got proposals from 3 industries over the last 4-5 months, and they say that we want to introduce a system where we can provide the experts in terms of financial, in terms of legal, because whenever you want to have a startup, you have to have financial experts, you have to have legal experts to guide you. You have to, first step is a pitch deck form to start with. And some of the skills are already existing and should be there in higher education institution, but there are a lot of industries which can help you through a platform online also, which can provide you the skill gap which is there in entrepreneurship system in a university. So I think solutions are already there, and as we move on, most of the universities will have this in their own system as an integral and fully internal part of it. So thank you for this question, and I hope that I had given you answer which can help you to accept it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khatri.